इतना बोल दो कि हम बात नहीं कर रहे।
So hello everyone, we'll just start in 5 minutes from now. We're waiting for more participants to join and we'll be starting in just 5 minutes. Hello everyone. So we'll start this session now. I welcome you all to this session and we are really excited to have you here in today's session, optimizing Scan-to-BIM, where 360 cameras fit in your workflow. Today's webinar is brought to you by ScanToBIM.Online, the fastest name in Scan-to-BIM conversation. In partnership with Cupix, the most advanced, easy to use, AI-powered digital twin platform out there. Together, we will be diving into how this latest technology is making reality capture more accessible, faster, and smarter than ever before. I am Sonak Banerjee, Vice President of Sales at ScanToBIM.Online, and I'm really thrilled to be joined by Chuck, a true pioneer in 3D measurement field with more than 30 years of experience. He began his journey as an application engineer. He spent over 2 decades leading product management and marketing at Faro and now bring his deep expertise to Cupix. He also serves on the board of directors for the Coordinate Metrology Society. So whether you are an architect, a contractor, or a VDC pro, you are in for a high value session with lot of insights. Before I hand it over to Chuck, just a quick note. If you have any questions during this session, drop them in the Q&A chat. Our teams from ScanToBIM.Online and Cupix will be answering them live. We'll also have a Q&A session with me and Chuck at the end of the webinar. So guys, fasten your seatbelts. We have a great content to cover and maybe even few surprises. Chuck, over to you.
Sunak. That's a great introduction. I'm really excited and happy to be invited by Scan-to-BIM.Online to join them to present you this great capability that enables their capability. So I think these technologies work really well together. What we're going to do today, we're going to go through, I'll introduce myself, although I got a pretty nice introduction from Sunak to start with. Then I'll talk a little bit about choosing the right tool. There's a lot of options out there. We're going to take a look at them. And give you some background on the 360 cameras that are available today. And then kind of the meat of it is the capability that you can use from Cupix Vista for 3D capture that works perfectly well with the Scan-to-BIM.Online workflow. And then to finish up, talk about the value of that workflow. And as Sunak said at the end, we'll continue with Q&A, although you can ask questions in the Q&A box through the webinar app as we go as well, and we'll be answering that as we go. So again, just to remind you what Sunak told you, my name is Chuck Pfeffer. I'm VP of Marketing at Cupix. I have 30 years background in 3D measurement. I started out as an application engineer in the 90s. I was using a product called a laser tracker, which is a large-scale, high-accuracy measurement system that got me involved in metrology. I was measuring things like aircraft tooling for the 747, NASA satellites, nuclear steam generators that were like 80 feet long for submarines. So I'm very aware of the challenges of measuring large things. And from there, I went to Faro for 20 years in product management and also product marketing. And as you probably know, Faro is one of the suppliers of laser scanners today. So I was aware of the applications in the AEC space and the BIM space and the VDC space from that background. And then 2 years ago, I joined Cupix. And I have to say that in the 2 years that I've been at Cupix, I've never really seen such innovation and such improvement and progress in the product. So if you're familiar with Cupix, you might be surprised at what you see today if you haven't seen what Cupix has recently. But what we want to do today is talk about the options that you have to create Scan-to-BIM and make you aware of some of the new technology that's coming out from companies like Cupix. So I'm going to start with just a short story. This takes me back, as you might have heard, I was chairman of the Coordinate Metrology Society. And back then, it was like 15 years ago, I had to give a speech, in front of the whole society. And so I bought a new suit. And when you buy a new suit, especially if it fits well, you don't have to have it tailored. It has this little tag on it. And so if you've ever bought a suit, you have to take the tag off. And I didn't buy that many suits through my life. So I went and got a scissor and I was going to try to cut off the tag with the scissor. And before I started, I really paused and was worried that I would ruin the fabric of the suit. So I went and asked my wife, who has a little more experience on the sewing side than me, and she said, no, you don't use a scissor for that job. There is a tool made for that job, and it's called a seam ripper. And so I took the seam ripper, which I guess I had seen before, but I didn't really know what it could do. And it took that tag off like in a split second, clean, no damage to the suit, and you could pull any seam with that. But it's a tool that's made for that specific job. And so that's really the beginning theme of this presentation is how do you choose the right tool for what you're trying to do in your Scan-to-BIM workflow? So in this case, the seam ripper is the perfect tool. So now we take that over to as-built documentation tools. You're trying to capture something that's already in the reality space, and you have a lot of choices. How do you choose? Well, think about what you're doing. What accuracy do you need? What volume do you need? What's your time frame in getting this done? How frequently do you need to do this? But maybe most importantly, what is your budget? A lot of these jobs that you wish you had an LOD 100, 200, 300 BIM model may not be in your budget. And you have to figure out how to do it without it. So just taking a look at these tools, you have your terrestrial laser scanners. They have accuracy of down to the millimeter today. They are expensive and they can measure large volumes, but they take time because you have to set it up in every location that you need a line of sight from. Then you have drones. They're great for large areas. You can create orthomosaics. You can do photogrammetry from aerial. They take some training, although they're getting easier to use. But of course, they're not that effective for indoor use when you have indoor BIM. You have the Matterport type system, also a tripod-based system. So you have to set it up in each place and it doesn't get behind hidden areas. Well, what if you need to get behind hidden areas? Then you have systems like the Novice system, and Faro makes the GeoSlam system. These are mobile LiDAR scanners. They're not quite as accurate as terrestrial scanners. They're more accurate than some of the other systems. They can collect data pretty quickly, but they're still, in the $20,000 to $40,000 range. So, these solutions are $15,000 to $100,000. So the budget is part of that. And all these solutions, work with software that you also have to add to get to your digital twin. On the other side of the spectrum, you have these 3D documentation tools, which mainly just use simple photography or 360 cameras. And there's a bunch of software that does construction progress tracking and construction management, really, just with photography, where you can look at, where were we Monday and where are we, the next Monday, and compare photos. But what's unique about a solution from a 360 grade camera that you might not be aware of is that Cupix can create 3D digital twins from these cameras. These cameras cost between $300 and $800. In fact, the best camera that's out there today that we promote is only $500. And so with the software that Cupix has, we have Cupix Works, which is a leading product that's used in the managing of construction projects today, and Cupix Vista, which is what I'm going to focus on today. Cupix Vista enables you to just do 3D documentation to create 3D point clouds and use them for whatever you need. In this case, easily uploading them into Scan-to-BIM.Online. So that's what I'm going to focus on. As far as accuracy goes, these cameras, when you put them through the Cupix AI SLAM photography engine, we're getting data that's as accurate as close to 98, 99% of a terrestrial laser scanner. So you're getting data that has 2 centimeter resolution instead of maybe 2 millimeter resolution, but you're getting accuracy that's close to the laser scanner. So you need to decide what accuracy you require when you decide you want to collect it with a $500 camera that anyone can use, or contract someone to collect a 3D scan. So there's a wide range of options here, and really you have to think about what are your needs, what's your budget, what's your accuracy, how fast do you need to get this done, who's going to do the collection. All these questions come up, and you can make your decision. And there's a right tool for every job. This camera is not the right tool for every job, but either is the laser scanner. So this video will give you an idea of the capability of what Cupix can do. So we're taking this off-the-shelf camera, and here you have somebody has the camera on a hard hat. We also have it mounted on a selfie stick, so you can put it up in the sky if you want on a stick. But this person is walking a building that has 2 stairwell towers and a lobby and an area up top, and he's able to walk the entire thing in one go. And Cupix then can put the entire package together. Those each second you're collecting 2 panos, so 2 panos per second. They're getting located in 3D, and not only that, but when you're done, you get this complete point cloud. So that's the power of Cupix, and then this point cloud is available to do things like export it as an E57 and bring it into Scan-to-BIM.Online to create an as-built model of that. So this is really what's in the background of everything that Cupix does, and we're making it available as just a 3D documentation tool, which is different than what our users in construction are doing, which they're using it to repetitively measure their construction sites. But that 3D data is important for them as well. We're making it available in a new product that works better, streamlined to the Scan-to-BIM process. So here are the cameras that we work with. So these are compatible with that Cupix point cloud. The Insta360 X4, we believe, we work closely with the manufacturers, both Insta and Ricoh, and we found Insta360 X4 is the best overall camera for creating a point cloud. It also has very good picture quality. It works well in dark light as well. If you want even better image quality, the 1-inch, which is closer to a $900 camera, also has comparable 3D point cloud capability, but better dark area images. But we'd still recommend the X4, I'd say, today for $500. The Ricoh camera has onboard GPS, so it will automatically place the data onto a map for you. And the cheapest one is a discontinued product, which is the Insta360 X2, which also provides very good point clouds. The image quality is not as good as the X4, The point cloud in the X4 is still, I think, a little superior, but the Insta1 X2 is only $300. So, but I would recommend spending $500 on the Insta X4. You can buy the X4 from Cupix, but you can also just buy it from Amazon and get it tomorrow. So easy to get started. You know, put your Amazon order in, you'll have this camera tomorrow, maybe in 2 days, the worst case. Cupix Vista, that's the product I'm talking about that enables this Scan-to-BIM workflow. You can today go and sign up at cupixvista.com and get your free beta. So you can test this now. That beta will be running for at least another month. You basically download a free app, it connects to your camera, and you start collecting data. And then you upload it to the site, and then you can generate the point cloud, which you can look in a viewer, and you can export the E57 to Scan-to-BIM. What's really exciting, and it's really the reason I wanted to jump on this call and as a guest to Scan-to-BIM.Online today, is that Cupix Vista 2.0 is coming out in May, and that will also be a free beta for everyone. We have a special offer that we're going to talk about at the end for Scan-to-BIM.Online, so stay on and we'll give you information on that. But when you're using Cupix Vista, you'll get a special offer from Scan-to-BIM. But the free beta, which starts next month, is going to add cloud-based collaboration. That means when you upload your video to the cloud, anyone you share the link with can actually access that data. So they can easily download the point cloud and do their own upload to Scan-to-BIM from that. It'll have a new point cloud engine. So if you use Cupix Vista today, you'll find in May that it's going to have even more dense point clouds. It's going to enable you to take high resolution photos while you're taking your data. So now when you look at a panoramic image, you can actually zoom in and see detail like text that'll be transcribed and recognized for search. You can add voice notes. So a lot of extra stuff coming in 2.0. If you try 1.0, you'll really appreciate the new things. And then more precise measurement as well. So you can make measurements, in Vista. And of course, once you put it into Scan-to-BIM.Online, you'll get everything back dimensionally sound as well. So this is sort of the main slide with the description of what the product is, but I'm going to dive more into just showing you what it looks like. This is an example of scanning a house. This is like a 3,500 square foot house. Over here, it shows you the path that's walked. So this is the person walking in the house, and in less than 8 minutes, looks like 7 minutes and 22 seconds, they collected data on this entire house. 7 minutes, and they have a full scan. And then as you see, you view from the top, you can easily see that this is data that Scan-to-BIM.Online can pull in and generate your BIM 100, 200, from this maybe even 300. There's one floor of the house. This, you don't need to filter it to send it to Scan-to-BIM.Online. They'll be able to separate the floors for you, just giving you an idea of what this looks like. There you can see easily the outline of all the walls in the building on both floors. Just 7 minutes of scanning, you upload it to the system. I think this took like an hour and a half to process, and then it was available for the next step of the workflow, which would be taking it to Scan-to-BIM. Here I'm showing let's see, another top view to do a simple measurement, and then you can also export. And exporting here, you see you have E57, PLY, and XYZ. So this is how you export the point cloud. Just very easy, and that's the interface currently available in the version 1. I'm going to show some more examples of just collecting. You walk the site. By the way, Cupix Works also can import point clouds from terrestrial scanners and from drones. But I'm just showing this to give you an idea of the scope of what you can walk. In a warehouse like this, you could walk 60,000 feet in 20 minutes, and that would give you the full 3D capability to upload that to Scan-to-BIM as well if you needed the BIM of something like this warehouse right here. So easiest part is there's no training required. This is not like a laser scanner. You don't need to register point clouds together. It's just upload this, walk the site and upload. This is a more specific video to walking a site for collecting data for a Scan-to-BIM application. So here you see actually showing you the improvement from when I started at Cupix, which was Gen 3 to Gen 4, which is what we have now. And as I said, the Generation 5 point cloud is going to be even better than what you're seeing. And I have a video on what's coming soon. But this shows you here how you can look at this information. You could bring it into Revit. And of course, you can upload this to Scan-to-BIM.Online, and they'll bring you something back like that, which then you can design within that space, or whatever your application is. We're running surveys during this presentation. One of the survey questions is telling us what you're doing with your BIM. I'm very interested to know the application specifics of what you're going to do with your BIM. So here's another example of what we call a dollhouse, just to give you an idea of the scope of what you can collect. This is another image from Cupix Works, which includes a floor plan. Cupix Vista doesn't include a floor plan because you're doing a complete as-built, but this just shows you what kind of detail you're going to get out of that point cloud and what the panoramic looks like as well. So you can explore both within the point cloud and within the panoramic. And then you can also make measurements as well that way. So, before or even after you upload to Scan-to-BIM.Online, you can use the access to Cupix Vista to do your own measurements and get information and share that information with others that are interested in it beyond just the BIM. I think being able to jump in and look at the panoramas, has a lot of value as well. Just doing some more measurements here. There's an area measurement. So you can measure area, you can measure volume, you can measure radiuses. There's a whole range of things that you can measure. It's just like you're looking at a model. The point cloud is generated automatically, completely. It's done with proprietary AI trained algorithms, uses photogrammetry and SLAM. Here's another example of a point cloud just to show you, how easily office space can be documented. So you have, also a visual understanding of how it looks from a bird's eye view, even though you actually didn't collect it with a drone or a scanner. You've collected it with a camera. And then this is really, I think, what impressed me incredibly when I saw this just a few weeks ago. A sharper, cleaner, and more complete point cloud now. So this is what you would get in Vista 2.0, which is coming out in May. So again, same workflow. You walk the job site, you walk the building, and you're going to get much more detail that the Scan-to-BIM.Online will be able to use to create, a better, more accurate, more detailed model for you. So here you're seeing, there's more coverage on the walls. There's more intricacy on the edges. There's higher resolution, so all the measurements will be more accurate because you'll actually be closer to the edge because you'll be within 2 centimeters of any point. And here you see, even if you're doing anything outdoors, I know that's not necessarily what you might be uploading to Scan-to-BIM, but you see improvement here on Lombard Street in San Francisco. You're getting more vegetation, you're getting more information on, the different colors and the different reflectivity. The windows are coming out better. All of that is getting more coverage, which makes it easier to create a BIM model from exterior as well. So we're very excited about this Gen 5 engine. That'll be out in Cupix Works and in Cupix Vista Beta. Again, that's in May when you'll be able to have access to Cupix Vista in beta. All right, then I have an example here of a floor plan. So this is actually the Gen 5 engine that I'm running that will be in Vista. And you can see here, just giving you an idea of what it's like to navigate the panoramic images on the left side. That's available in Vista. And then navigating within the main area here, you see the floor plan in 3D. Give you an idea of what it looks like from above. This is the type of information that's that Scan-to-BIM.Online can easily take into their systems and generate your floor plans and your BIM. From that, you can see how clean that is now. Really makes it easy to understand and for them to calculate for you. I'm going to just make here a quick measurement. Just do a measurement of the width of that room. just as easy as that. Also, you can then look at this from different angles. Here's an area measurement I'm making. Here's your area. And I think I just then want to just explore this a little bit more, just to give you some perspective on the completeness of this scan. This is getting, much closer to what you get with a laser scanner now, in the fidelity, and in the resolution, and in the capability of measuring, just in different conditions as well. And then you can hide and bring back the pano bubbles, and allows you again to just explore what's really there. And this can help in the Scan-to-BIM as well, because sometimes if a detail isn't clear in a 3D, you can look at it in the picture and understand what it is, and construct a BIM element based on that as well. So it all adds up to really having a full understanding of an as-built condition. So kind of summarizing this workflow that we're introducing here for this specific job, where it's when you need a LOD 100, 200, maybe 300, and you need it quickly, and you have a budget that doesn't really work for a $100,000 scanner. You use a camera, you do your data collection, do your 10-minute job walk or site walk. You get a panoramic virtual tour, you get a 3D point cloud, and then you upload that point cloud to Scan-to-BIM.Online, and you get the model back that you can work with. It's as simple as that. So here's the 3D point cloud. There's your Scan-to-BIM.Online model. You see has the structures that are in place. This is, I guess, LOD 100. And then you can take that and put your design in. So I'll go back here. You have, you may be moving cubicles and constructing new walls, and you have, real understanding of the space to reorganize the space and put your new design in. So just very simple. Point cloud, get your BIM, do your design. I mean, it's just changes the whole process for you, from having to go contract somebody to do or do all the meticulous time of measuring every single room and drawing it out. You're going to save a ton of time. This is an example here of, and it's more impressive to me than maybe to you, but because I've been working with this for 2 years, I've seen it continually improve. But this is showing you the completeness in the Gen 5. On the left here, you have the new version of these point clouds. This one here, getting a lot better on the edges, a lot more information in the darker areas. This one showing, the floor, which sometimes is reflective and flat and not easy for scanners to get, getting full, complete information on the floors. Here, now, the Scan-to-BIM activity may or may not always be outside, I would say, but if you are doing any outside work, you see this is much more complete on the different areas that are missing in the old engine. So if you ever tried Cupix before, you're going to want to try it again, because this is what you're going to get now, much more complete data. This is that Lombard Street example. Huge difference in where you're getting data. These are the same videos run through the Gen 4 engine and the Gen 5 engine. So in May, you're going to get a much more complete point cloud, which again will give you a much better result, or at least a better result in your Scan-to-BIM from Scan-to-BIM.Online. I'd still say it gives you very good results today, but I think it'll be even better tomorrow. So to sort of come to some summary on the workflow that I've been talking about, there's applications for architecture, for engineering design firms. As I said, that we'd be interested to see, what the results of the survey are, because I know there's a multitude of ways that you could use this BIM, now that it's democratized and easy to access. But we definitely see that, anything that you're looking for in an LOD 100 to 300 model, for early design communication, for informational purposes, for quoting information, that all becomes more accessible when you can just use a 360 camera and a simple Cupix processing, and then of course the Scan-to-BIM.Online process. The floor plans, we've seen customers use this for public safety and for planning. So having an evacuation plan for a school, having an event planner that needs the layout of a building so they can plan for the event. That's also something that some of our customers have already done. the features, it's basically, it's do it yourself. It means that anyone can capture the 360 video. It's just a workflow that anyone can just walk around with a camera on a stick. It's as easy as that. The 3D dollhouse, that's what we call that 3D model. It's a comprehensive spatial context, and you can do modeling up to 99% accurate to a laser scanner with it. So it's really, there's a lot of applications that fall into that space. And then it's the standard exports allows you to use it not only just uploading it to Scan-to-BIM.Online, but you could do it in other applications too that read in that information. You saw somebody in Revit in one of the videos. So the capabilities, it's large space capture. You can do, like I said, up to 60,000 square feet in 20 minutes. You could do more than one 20-minute capture. You could do multiple captures. You could do a capture on every floor. There's a lot of different ways that you can do really large spaces. And it also generates a virtual tour. So not only are you getting a Scan-to-BIM process, but you also get this virtual tour, which anyone who needs to jump in and look around and understand where they're working, they can do that remotely. Dimensional measurement, you saw how easy it is. Just click 2 clicks and you know the distance. You don't have to go to the job site and go double check something. You just have it, always have full access to the site. And then in version 2.0, that online collaboration is huge. That's really one of the main features that our construction teams use when they're using the construction version, Cupix Works. Anyone on a project can jump in and look around, make measurements, and in this case, also download BIM if they need it for, or download the point cloud if they need it for some other uses. So just the online collaboration really is the biggest impact, I think, and that'll be something that'll be available in our May version. So the value of the video, basically this is sort of summing up all of what we've been looking at and talking about. We're streamlining reality capture. It's no longer a process that needs to be scheduled, that needs to have specialized equipment, specialized people. If you don't need the accuracy and you need the flexibility, and if you don't have the budget, this is a viable option for getting accurate point clouds and virtual tours for your sites that you want to understand. Converts the video into the video walk, into the virtual walk in the dollhouse. You're capturing it in minutes, not days. And any team member, anyone, literally anyone can do it. One of our customers who's beta testing Vista, their daughter, 8-year-old daughter, captured their backyard, uploaded the video, and then downloaded the point cloud. Now, they didn't use a Scan-to-BIM.Online. They basically modeled the woods in their backyard, and she brought it into Minecraft to play in a video game. So, even an 8-year-old was able to actually collect the data, use the data. The cost savings that we've seen from our customers, some of these are with Cupix Works, but these workflows are basically the same for the people that are only doing documentation. They're reducing their hardware investment by 90%. I mean, that's kind of obvious. If you're going from a $50,000 laser scanner to a $500 camera. So, if you need multiple scanning devices, I mean, then it just becomes even greater. If you have people all over the country collecting data, you can send them all a $500 camera. Complete documentation 25 times faster than other methods. I mean, you saw I did the whole house in 7 minutes. I think with like a Matterport, you'd have to set it up for, a couple minutes in each room of that house. I mean, that would be, much longer capture time. And then the upload is just, a few minutes, and then the processing time is just a couple hours. So, and if you compare that to a laser scanner, you might have, many hours of point cloud registration as part of that process, and not to mention that hours of moving the laser scanner around. I think the biggest impact of using any collaborative platform for digital twins is that it cuts travel expenses by 80%. So that's a no-brainer. If you need to visit the site, you just go on the collaborative website and you visit the site virtually. Yeah, jumping back to that complete documentation, that's conventional methods. So conventional methods would actually be, just walking the site with a pen and paper and a tape measure. That would be 25 times faster, but it's still faster than most of the other methods as well. And then finally, the seamless integration. And this talks to, how we're going to work with Scan-to-BIM.Online. Any one of our 3D point clouds is fully compatible to upload into Scan-to-BIM.Online. They accept the E57. You just upload it directly to their website. We have a special link that will show in a couple slides where you can have an offer to get some free modeling from Scan-to-BIM.Online. So that'll be a couple slides ahead. And also, the great thing about this low-cost, easy-to-use workflow is it's scalable. So if you work in a large organization, you can continue to grow the use of this. It doesn't have any growing pains. Anyone can collect the data. You can process as much of the data as you need based on your subscription, and then run it through the same workflow. There's no bottleneck in the system per se. It's just easy to grow in your organization. So that takes me to the end of the value, and what I just wanted to do before we get to the Q&A is, as I mentioned, the 2 years I've been at Cupix, I've never seen such accelerated innovation, and I think I'd like to invite everyone on this call to follow Cupix on LinkedIn. That's the best way to keep up to date on what's new. You'll learn when our V2 Vista comes out for sure. But just about every month we have some new functionality that's really, taking Cupix to the next level. And to stay up on that, I would recommend that you take out your phone. You could use your camera to take you right to the Cupix LinkedIn page, and you can follow us there. And that's the best place. That's where we communicate to our users and our followers, what's new, and you'll be able to be aware of what's coming down the pike if you're become a Cupix user. So that would be much appreciated. And let's see, I can move on to the exclusive free trial that I've been hinting at the whole time. So this is really exciting. I think if you're looking to try this, Scan-to-BIM.Online is offering 50 hours of free modeling with a Cupix Vista point cloud. So that's pretty awesome. You can sign up at cupixvista.com. That would give you access to the Vista Beta 1, which is available right now for free. It'll be available for at least another month. And then once we release version 2, which will be that fully collaborative version, it'll have an easier workflow, less uploading and downloading. It's just a single upload on the that'll be available in May. And with both cases, any point cloud that you generate from Vista 1 or Vista 2, you'll be able to take advantage of this 50 hours of free modeling from Scan-to-BIM.Online. There's a link there. We're also going to be emailing you a thank you for registering for this webinar. And in that thank you email, we will have that link as well. So that'll be a reminder and also an easy way for you to go to the Scan-to-BIM Cupix Vista page where you can upload your Vista point clouds, and maybe you bookmark that. So when you get your point cloud E57 from Vista, you can upload it there. But this is really a great way to test this out. You need to go get yourself a camera if you don't have one yet. But that's the only thing standing between you and trying this for free for at least a couple months, because we have the beta now, and we're going to be running the beta on Vista 2 for a little while as well. So really exciting time for you to try this, to update your Scan-to-BIM process and look for really elevating it and also accelerating how often you use this type of process to share and accelerate your whole BIM process for whatever you're working on. So that is what I have prepared for today. We definitely have time for Q&A now. I put the following up there so you can follow Scan-to-BIM.Online on LinkedIn as well, and have the Cupix follow QR code there. In addition to that, so you can follow both companies and stay up to date on it. And now I guess we can take a look at some of the Q&A that has hasn't been addressed yet. Sunak, I can throw it back to you for that.
Sure. Thanks, Chuck, and thanks for this insightful presentation. So we'll take these few questions that has not been answered yet. Like first thing someone asked, like how they can buy the product and who is the right person to contact. So if you can put some lights on that.
So the cameras you can buy from Cupix, and I think for that you can go to maybe just Cupix.com to buy the camera. But I would actually just recommend buying the camera from a local retailer or from a web retailer. I think the easiest place to buy a camera is on Amazon.com. I think if you search for the Insta360 X4 on Amazon, you'll see a price and a delivery time. I think it retails for $500. So depending on where you are in the world, it might be a little more expensive in Europe. But that's and then as far as the product is it's a software service that you access through Cupix Vista.com. So to get that, you just sign up on the website. And as I mentioned, it's completely free this month, and it will be free in its next version as well. The pricing for the release subscription has not been publicized yet, but if you follow us and you stay in touch with us, we will be sending out information on that as we get closer to a commercial launch.
Great, that's a great offer, Chuck. So our next question will be, are we able to tie this scan down geospatially?
Where's this one? Tie the scan down. I didn't understand what you said. Tie the scan down.
Geospatially, maybe it is asking like, can we tie this scan to
Geospatially, yes, I see it. Yeah.
yeah.
So yes, you can. I mentioned that the Ricoh Theta X camera automatically collects geospatial information, and then it is placed on a map. We actually will also have an integration with the Insta camera. I don't know if that will be available at the launch, but it will also allow you, if you're measuring outside, to have it automatically positioned on a map. Otherwise, if it's not, you would have to manually position it on your map outside of our system. But that is a capability that we have if you're outside. And I think if you look at some videos on our YouTube channel, you might find the Cupix Works product, has GIS integrations where it shows some of our scans located on maps.
Great. So we have this last question, Chuck, that can we integrate Cupix into any real estate listing website, maybe like Zillow and something like that?
We have APIs available. So if anyone is interested in talking to us about using the API, we're open to that discussion. So yeah, it's possible, but we're not doing that today. It's not available in Zillow today, for example.
Great. I think we are done with all the questions as of now. Everyone, if you have any questions, you can just put it into the Q&A section and I'll be happy to answer that.
Okay, great. Yeah, I see a question that was about maybe a BIM question there. I don't know if it was answered.
So can
the
you
walls,
generate a
doors, and
mesh?
windows.
So
It'd be more of what you're generating out of your Scan-to-BIM.Online.
yeah, so that from us, for us, it is AI powered. So we can automate simple things like wall, door, floor, windows, etc. But yeah, 60% of the work is still manual. So I have 100 plus
I see.
staff working for this manual conversion. They're doing it, and our AI engine, they're learning it from this manual effort. So Chuck,
All right,
there is
great.
another question like, can we generate a mesh out of it? And I think
Yes.
we can.
So Yeah, so I didn't get into that detail because actually one of the interesting things is the new point cloud is dense enough that it looks really nice, and so I wasn't showing the mesh. But yes, the Cupix Vista 1.0 and 2.0 both have mesh, and they both have the ability to export mesh as well. For the Scan-to-BIM workflow, I think we're just working with the E57, but you could export the mesh as well.
All right. So I think we are at
The
the
second part of the question was, is the mesh adjustable? It's not. It's a fixed mesh. We, you know, the Vista product is really built for ease of use and do it yourself. So, you know, it's not, if you wanted to do a high-end mesh where you could adjust 50 parameters, you might do that in some other product, but it will generate an automated mesh that is set to like the parameters that we believe are make the data most usable.
Great. So, all right, we are almost at the frag end of the session. So a big thank you, Chuck, for joining us today and sharing your expertise. And that brings us to the end of the session, optimizing Scan-to-BIM, where 360 cameras fit in your workflow. I hope you enjoyed it. You find it insightful to enhance your Scan-to-BIM process. If you have any further questions and you would like to continue this conversation, you can email us at contact@ScanToBIM.Online. You can follow our LinkedIn page. You can follow Cupix, and we'll be happy to help you from here. Once again, thank you for attending and have a great day ahead. And we really look forward to connecting with you soon. Thank you.
Isn't it?